Hafide and what's up everyone? My name is Connor Sablon. I'm a keyboardist that gives advice on what it's like to be a full-time musician. Today I'm going to talk about what it's like to be a hired gun and advice for musicians looking to play in multiple different bands, travel, and getting paid while you do it. Just to be clear, a hired gun is a gigging and touring musician that works with multiple bands. In the past 5 years, I've played with about 25 different bands and groups. So come along with me today as we explore how to get gigs, how to build a good reputation, how to travel doing what you love, and get paid for doing all of that. Okay, let's go. Okay, an important aspect of being a hired gun is to build your skill, right? And that means practice a lot. This is natural when you're younger and you first fall in love with your instrument. You know, all you want to do all day is practice and learn new songs. But the truth is, as you get older and you become a working musician, it's harder to find the time to practice. Even though in this line of work, practice is mandatory, especially if you're playing with different bands. You want to learn different sets, you want to be able to play the music just as the track or the rehearsal recording that you're listening to, and you want to be as true to the music as possible for whatever band or set you get hired for. You'll get hired primarily through word of mouth and recommendations from other musicians, and this is why in a previous video I said that your social media is your resume. As a hired musician, you'll have to learn many sets, so be a fast learner. Take time to build systems and routines that make learning music easy. That way, when you get hired for different bands, learning new sets will be a breeze. Okay, I've talked about this too in a lot of other videos, but go out to shows, meet other musicians. One of the most important parts about this industry is networking. It's talking to people. This is a people industry. And musicians are just people that love talking about their passion, their music, maybe songs that they've written that they want to explain the meaning to, you know. It's good to get out there and meet people in person and have them tell you their story. That way, when you're listening and relating to them, they can remember you and hopefully call you for more gig opportunities. You have to build your network and more opportunities will come your way, so if one band doesn't have much going on or not a lot of gigs, you can play with other groups and keep a steady income as a gigging musician. Okay, another aspect of being a hired gun is traveling with your instruments. Oftentimes you might have to travel by bus or van or even flying too. And this is one that I had to learn the hard way. So my main reggae rig consists of a Nord, a Juno X, and a Novation controller and a stand with a stand bag. So that's a lot of gear to move, especially when you're flying. Flying with your instruments can create a lot of anxiety. You want your instruments to be safe and not damaged in transit. So this is why I try to pack my keyboard cases with clothes and other things that I might need for tour that can insulate any shock or any damage that might be done from moving the instruments. Because the truth is, when you check in your instruments in a flight, you're handing them over and you're really just taking a risk. So you want to put yourself in a winning position and put as much insulation and protection in your cases as possible. I've actually seen some of the baggage handlers throw my keyboards, and you know, that can, you know, make you angry, but at the end of the day, you're really giving your keyboards up for that risk if you're checking them in. So just be aware of that if you are a traveling musician. I've seen a lot of guitarists carry on their instrument, and most airlines have a good policy when it comes to carrying on an instrument. They might be able to put it in the coat closet if it doesn't fit in the upper, you know, baggage area. And I've seen that happen before. I've also been on board with my keyboards that I've put in the coat, or in order to not pay for another bag, you might want to gate check one of your keyboards or guitars if you're traveling with multiple instruments. That's a little hack on how to not pay for multiple bags. Try to bring one in as a carry-on and gate check it. Okay, so you don't want to double book yourself ever, but it does happen, so just be mindful when it does, and be mindful when saying yes to certain gigs. What can help is keeping a list of upcoming gigs on your phone. This is what I do. It's basically a calendar that tells me everything I may need for an upcoming gig. and what the date is, what the pay is, you know, just to keep it all in mind and keep track of my finances and what I'm saying yes to. It's super important. And also manage your time well. That means prioritize your time, your practice time between sets for upcoming gigs. Also, if a set is far away but unusually difficult than the sooner sets, you might want to start practicing that sooner rather than later, because you don't want to be unprepared for a gig. That's the worst feeling, is getting up there and not doing your best, right? Or coming off when the band leader says, oh, that could have been better. Maybe the audience didn't respond the right way that you would hope, so you want to do your best at all times. And this may seem controversial too, but don't prioritize your practice by the pay of the gig. You want to do the same job on a $100 gig as you would a $1,000 gig, right? You're only as good as your last hit, so make sure that every gig you do is your best one yet. If you have a gig with a regular band and an opportunity comes along from a larger or more well-known artist, there's a couple things you can do. You can honor your first agreement, or you could tell them something unique has come across and you feel like it would be a really good opportunity and just hope that they understand. Not all bands will. Some people will be mad for skipping out on them, especially if it's late in the game and the gig is about to happen, which you definitely don't want to do. If this does happen and a new opportunity comes across that you feel like you should take, you really need to tell the other band in advance that you won't be there. Otherwise, it becomes messy and you could burn a bridge that maybe might not be there in the future, and you don't want to burn any bridges. You want to respect everybody's time and respect your agreements. So this is a tricky one, but you have to navigate it with caution and with respect for all the bands involved. Okay, keep an eye on your finances. That means don't spend all the money that you get paid for a gig right away. You might want to save it, because who knows, more gigs might come along, or maybe not. Maybe you might have a dry spell for a minute with no gigs, and you want to be able to save your money, especially if you're a full-time musician and this is what you're doing. Keep a list of how much you're getting paid per gig too. This gives you an idea of how much you're making per month and per year. It's just a good bird's eye view of your career that you want to have. If you want to use music to survive, you have to keep an eye on all your spending and saving. Remember that you love to do this and you want to keep doing it for many years to come. So keep an eye on your finances, make sure that it's working, and make sure that you're able to continue with this lifestyle, doing what you love. I'm grateful every day that I wake up knowing that I can do music full time, whether it be teaching or gigging. I get to do what I love every day and even travel doing it, sharing what I love with the world, sharing what I've practiced. At the end of the day, it's what keeps me going. So when you love something, you want to give it your all your effort, all your energy, and that's music, that's music for me. And if you're watching this video, I bet it's the same for you. Continue to cultivate your love for music and playing your instrument, okay? That's the only way to keep going. So that's all my tips and tricks for being a hired gun and a gigging touring musician. I might make a volume 2 because there's a lot of other things I could talk about. But if you like this video, like and subscribe. And I would like to end with a short quote by the great late saxophonist Jimmy Heath. And he says, once you fall in love with your instrument, it's forever. That's it. All right, you guys, appreciate you. So catch you soon. If you like this content, like and subscribe, and we got more videos coming out. All right.